I have a few notes in my little stopwatch, so I don't go over. You guys, what an honor and privilege it is to share with you. And I am going to share just a little bit of my story starting out, because I know some of you haven't heard it before. So as Amy shared with you, I owned a dance and gymnastics studio for 12 years before Mary Kay, and lived in Aurora, Nebraska, where Melissa is from. So knew Melissa, her daughter took dance from me. And before Mary Kay, looking on the outside into my life, I looked like I had a picture-perfect life. Was very successful, owned a very successful business, was the chair of all kinds of committees, was very involved in our community, sharing all kinds of things at the chamber, traveled across the state speaking at leadership organizations, looked like I had my life together, and it was pretty successful. But met Amy. Amy called me as a wrong number. She was calling a new homeowners that she was working with, and I was a wrong number. But very much by divine appointment, Amy didn't hang up the phone. My daughter Hildy didn't hang up the phone. I would have hung up the phone. But she kept talking, and we found a connection. And I always love sharing that part of the story, you guys, because how often are we afraid to get on the phone? Or afraid to walk up to somebody, afraid to share with somebody that we know. But our courage in all those instances, you never know where that 20 seconds of courage is not only going to get you and further your business, but how you're going to impact someone's life. And we talk about that. I don't know if anyone's seen the movie We Bought a Zoo. That good movie. One of my favorite parts in the movie is 20 Seconds of Courage. And I don't have the quote up here with me, but that literally 20 seconds of courage in so many instances in our life. That is all it takes, is to muster up in our guts. And I tell my kids this over and over. We've through the things that we went through, I'm like, all it takes, you guys, is 20 seconds. 20 seconds of insane courage can change your life. And I am so thankful that, it took some courage for Amy to stay on the phone. And those of you that knew me in the beginning of my Mary Kay journey, I was a little harsher than I am now. And I am sure I was not a nice person to talk to on the other end of the phone. But I'm so thankful for that courage. And you never know, in every circumstance, every conversation, every time you want to turn away or not pick up the phone, what that 20 seconds of courage in speaking to someone is going to make a difference in their life. Because you never know what's going on in somebody else's life. And really, I was praying for an answer. I was not happy. I was kind of stuck in mediocrity. Didn't really know I was stuck in mediocrity. Was in a very abusive marriage at the time that I was exiting. And Mary Kay and Amy came into my life at exactly the right time. A very divine appointment. And so started my business, and really, I would say I went gangbusters right away, but the first few weeks weren't gangbusters. It took some more divine courage from Amy to pull that out of me and to play at the level that I needed to play at. And then I did, and I followed her. Exactly what she said to do and exactly the plan that she said to do it, kind of with blinders on. I didn't really pay attention to what was going on in the rest of the Mary Kay world, or look to the right or look to the left, or even know what a red jacket was or what anything else was. I just did exactly what she told me to do, and knew that following her, that she was successful, and knew that just latching on to her and doing exactly what she told me to do was going to get me somewhere. I didn't even know where. I really didn't even know why at that point. I just needed to go somewhere besides where I was. And I had rapid success, and some of you guys have heard that. I mean, in 1 month, went from zero, actually in one day at the end of the month, because it all fell together that day, went from 1 team member to 10 team members into DIQ, and then right away into directorship, and then right away into my Cadillac. And really, I remember being at my first fall advance, just like this, my first fall retreat. And like I said, I was a little harsher then. And I walked in thinking, these people are crazy. I mean, I really thought, I was like, these people are screaming, and if one more person gives me a hug, I don't know what I'm going to do. And there might be some of you like that right now in the room that are thinking, this is a little bit, oh my goodness, I'm getting acclimated to it. And the strangest part of it, though, you guys, was that these people, I hadn't been yet around the Mary Kay culture and what was going on, and everyone kept asking me what I did. Like, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do to move so fast? I was like, what do you mean, what did I do? What are you doing? Faces, fun facts, that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, I am sure I was not nice. Rebecca was my roommate at the time. We were the poor women. We were brand new consultants together. I can't imagine what I was like in the room. I'm just like, why are they asking faces, fun facts? Do them. Aren't they all DIQ? Doesn't everybody do this? I really thought that, you guys. And a lot of times I share that part because we complicate it too much. We make everything way too complicated. That we got to learn all kinds of stuff about all kinds of stuff. I just learned exactly what Amy told me to do. I watched how she did, and I still call it a skincare class because I heard that, and I like the word skincare class in one part. I like teaching people. I was a dance teacher. I like teaching. It's a class about skincare. But I watched exactly how she did a skincare class, watched, took notes, did it over and over exactly the way she did it. Used her exact words, did it over and over exactly the way she did exactly how many she told me I was supposed to do, didn't think it was an option. And, it really was that simple. This business wasn't rocket science. And I do remember in the beginning people asking me, like, what was my why? What was I working towards? What was my why? Even when I first became a director of, what's your why? And I'm like, I don't know. And it took me a little bit to even figure out what that was, but my why then was just I needed out. I knew that I wanted what these people had, and I knew how this environment was making me feel, and at that point, that was enough. Wanting that and knowing the next step and just following someone and taking their hand and following that was enough. And so if you don't know exactly what it's working towards in your life, at that point, I was at such a, even though it looks like on the outside my life was good, I had been like so beaten up emotionally that I just thought that was my life forever. And I lost the ability to hope and dream, and to do that scared me. At that point, I think. I just thought, I'm going to live in this house forever. I'm going to own this dance. I'm survived. We are happy here. And to think of anything more for my life, I just didn't have that ability yet. Of what's the vision for your life? I'm like, I don't know, the vision for my life is to survive. I don't know. But that came. But first I just needed to hold somebody's hand and get strong enough to figure out what that was, knowing that I was moving towards those things. So just following the steps of that. I have some notes because I wanted to make sure and not forget to share some things. When talking about other people's dreams attached to yours, you guys too, then, just the amount of people, because I did things, stepped outside of my comfort zone, and the things I did, that the people that do follow behind you. The next part of my story, right after I became a director, reconnected with my amazing offspring director, Susan, who is now one of my best and dearest friends. Our families had kind of fallen apart, and we hadn't spoken like 15 years. But when you're a new consultant and your director tells you one of the things you're supposed to do is make a contact list of everybody you know, like everybody you know, doesn't mean you haven't talked, how long it's been since you talked to them, and send them an email, let them know that you're doing Mary Kay, and I did that, and Susan ordered something off my website. And she had been going through a ton of life changes as well. And again, such a divine appointment that I and Mary Kay were placed in her life. And because I ran after my dreams, because I was bold then and reached out to her, I actually, before she was ever a consultant, flew down to Georgia. I just had a feeling and a tugging in my heart. And because I chased that dream, I rescued her life. I don't want to say I rescued her life, but I gave her hope and Mary Kay in a vehicle that has changed her life as well. And so you do never know. And if it wouldn't have been for those seconds of courage and stepping out, her life would have been totally different as well. Then the overcoming, and we've talked about that. Everybody really does have life, and I'm not here to share all the crazy things I've been through, but life will always happen. You know, there will always be things that happen. And how successful you can be in life, how happy you are in life, not just in this business, but how high functioning you are in life and moving your own story forward is your ability to overcome those things and to do it anyway. And a lot of times, the points that we get stuck in that pity party because too many things rain down, we're not happy being stuck in that place or just in that pity party. Nobody is at that pity party but you. Or no one wants to hear your story in that pity party anyway. And there will always be things that go on to different degrees, and God placed those things in your life for a reason, and you're going to have a great story about them later. And you will have a great story and a lesson and a help and a strength to other women that I am so thankful. I don't know how I would have lived through all the things without these amazing Mary Kay sisters in my life, and just the strength and the positive attitude. I don't know what women that aren't Mary Kay do. I mean, I might have been still laying in bed for days and days. You guys, I went through that, got out of that, thank goodness. It still gives me chills. When Amy introduced me and she said from Omaha, Nebraska, Buffy will say I about started crying in the back of the room because we thankfully got to move to Omaha in January after crazy custody battles with my kids. And then my kids have been through some health things, and I know that there's reasons for that. It's helped me hone in and be a better mother to them as well. But this year I got a little stuck in that. So I'd overcome lots of stuff. I've been in lots of yucky stuff with all this sport stuff. And I finally moved to Omaha thinking, life is going to be just peaceful and a joyride, and I'm going to work, and this is going to be my best year ever. And because it's all going to be smooth sailing. Well, life is never all smooth sailing. So it was the ability to get back over that and not throw a pity party that something else happened, and figure out how to do it anyway. And like I said, just without the Mary Kay sisters, Rebecca, all of our director team is so amazing. Each one of you are such a special gift to my life. But they know, when we say that we do life together, we really do life together. And I remember, again, when Amy said that to me, looking across the table to me at first, and she said that, I was like, you are crazy. What does that mean, do life together? I don't want to do life. I'm not doing this every day. And so I'm sure, are some of you thinking, what do you guys hang out every day? Well, but we are intertwined in each other's life, an amazing support system like you cannot imagine. To have that kind of girlfriends and sisters and people that just know when you need prayer. And there just was a specific example this week. Rebecca sent me a text. She knew I was going to be in a place and in a difficult situation where I was going to need prayer, and she just texted me up exactly the right time of, sister, I'm praying for you. I know right now is not, you are going through some things, but just know I'm right here with you and praying for you and lifting you up. And you're surrounded by that with people. Surrounded by that. So I am so thankful for that environment. And you guys, when you choose to move up in Mary Kay, you get the opportunity to be surrounded by more people, people of that higher level of thinking. And those are the people that get to pour into your life. And I think of that, you guys, I thought I loved the dance studio, and I did. I was serving other people. I was pouring into children's lives, and I did know I was making a difference in those people's lives. But I was also surrounded by a lot of negative dance moms. And that's who was pouring into my life. But anyway, the higher that you climb in Mary Kay, you guys, the difference in the women that are surrounding you. And we tell you guys this a lot. I mean, John Maxwell says this, that the 5 people you surround yourself with the most, you are going to become alike. And, it goes further than that of who your circle of influence is. And beyond the diamond bumblebees and the iPads and the prizes, although I really do like the diamond bumblebees, that's the prize that motivates me a lot. But the prizes that are the greatest are the people that I have gotten to surround myself with. This year I had the opportunity, and you get those opportunities the higher that you climb. The higher you climb up the career path, the more you do, the more that you're willing to step out and be courageous. You get to surround yourself with amazing, amazing people. And I had one of the most incredible opportunities this year to attend Inner Circle Weekend. I mean, when you were telling the story about Kathy Lou, I'm like, I got to sit with her and talk to her, and I can't even believe it. I mean, all of the Inner Circle Nationals, I got to sit with them and look in their eyes and them all speak to me. It was so incredible, the things that I learned from them. And you get more and more of those experiences the more you're in Mary Kay and the higher you climb. And those are the irreplaceable things. More than the diamonds and more than the money and more than paychecks and more than the cars is the amazing friends and the people that you have the opportunity to be surrounded with that pour into your lives. So there is room at the top for all of you. For all of you. We want you to be with us and for you to be part of our sisterhood. And just finally, all of you directors, I am so, so thankful again. And Alyssa, what an amazing speech. Thank you for being such an incredible, rock-solid friend. And Buffy, I am so proud of you. This is your year. We'll be celebrating you in Hawaii, girlfriend. So, we're excited to have a great weekend. Thank you, guys.